Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, you are highly welcome as well. And to those who have stopped by more than once, thank you for stopping by once again. So today I'll be showing you guys how to make boho French coils braids on natural hair. Short boho French coily braids on natural hair. I'll be giving you guys the tips on how I make mine to get the perfect bob look. Without further ado, let's just dive into it, okay? So the extension I used was Lush products. This is the extension. It comes in a pack like this, and this pack has like 5 bundles inside of it. I'm going to call them bundles now because they came in just like, you're going to see what I mean in a minute. There were 5 inside the pack, or there are 5 inside the pack, and one pack I divide into 2. Just like cut it into 2, and to separate it, to allow it to detangle easily and not tangle, what I did was just use grease, which is regular hair cream. I did not use shea butter or Oreo, because you say, some of you will say it's hair cream so you can use Oreo. I did not use that. What I used was the cup. I don't know if you can see the cup on top of the table in front of my client. That is what I used. Just regular hair cream that you use for your hair, just regular grease. That is what I did. Okay, now the braids properly, what I did was regular knotless braids, and as I was going I just made them boho braids. For the first row, which is this row I'm making now, I did not drop any coily, which is like I didn't make any of it boho braids at the first row. I started the second line boho braids. Hope that makes sense. We all know what boho braids means, right? Let me just explain, because I said this is going to be beginner friendly, so let me explain what I mean. For this first row, as you can see, I just did regular knotless braids and tie the knot at the tip. You're seeing what I did there. I did regular knotless braids and then just tie the knot, which is, you're going to see what I mean if I go to the second row. Just regular knotless braid, nothing too fancy. You start braiding with the hair extension and with the natural hair, and then you start adding the hair extension bit by bit. Okay, that is what I did for the first row. And for this extension, it is quite slippery, and the fact that we added grease to it, it's even added to the slip. But if you don't add grease to it and it is not slippery enough, you won't be able to detangle it properly, meaning it's going to get dried in your hand and it might get tangled. Okay, so to make the knot not unravel, I'm going to show you a trick I found out after I was done with the hair, so stick around for that. Okay. Now for the second row, I started the boho braids properly. Now I braided with the hair extension and then started dropping small pieces of hair bit by bit, as you can see me do in the video. I don't know how best to explain it, but just watch the video, okay? So that is what I did for the rest part of the hair. I didn't really count how many strands of hair I left out for the entire hair. I just kept adding as much as I knew would be enough for it. So for this row that I'm at now, I think I dropped for some braids 1 strand, for other braids 2 strands. But you know, I told you that I use just 1 pack, so depends on how many strands of hair you're going to drop. You might require more pack. Okay, so there is that as well. Let me allow you watch the rest of the video. Okay, one more thing before I go, because this braid extension has a lot of slip, and this is natural hair, by the way, you're going to try your best to braid it tightly, not too tightly, so that it doesn't take away from the way it is meant to be, because French coils are supposed to be loose braids. Majority of you get it all wrong when you start braiding your French coils very tightly. I think there will be another video for that, but because this is natural hair and we want to try our best to make sure we are tucking the hair in and not have the hair all over the place, or have the hair separate from the extension, because the extension, like I have mentioned, is quite silky. Yes, that's the word. It's quite silky. The extension is quite different from the way natural 4C hair is. So you try your best to braid it moderately, not too tight, not too loose. Hope you understand what I'm saying. Stick around to find out how I ended up making the knot stay at the end of the video. Okay, so keep on watching. So as I moved from one row to the next, the number of the strands of hair that I was dropping for the boho look became more than the one I dropped before. For instance, I think the most that I dropped for one braid, I think, was 4, which is, this is the first one, and then I'm going to drop again 2, and I think I dropped again 3. For some braids it's 3 that I dropped at most. Then for some braids it is 4. I just dropped the third one now if you look closely, and I think for some braids it was 4. And one more thing I'm going to say is this: for me, what I did for this bob look was, I didn't make all the braids equal length, which is the way you would normally do your regular boho braids. Yes, I didn't make everything one length, which is from the top to bottom for the braids, which is the part that I braided, not the curly part, because I wanted it to be full. I don't know how best to explain this, but the braids that I did, it was as if I was doing step by step. I didn't make everything equal at the bottom. The parts that I braided, please, I'm trying my best to explain this as much as I can, I promise. The part that I braided for the bottom was longer than the part that I braided at the top, if that makes sense. I think for some parts of the braids, I just braided after her hair and then just tied the knot, so that the body of the hair, which is, it is going to have more volume, if that makes sense. I just hope that whatever I'm blabbing now makes sense to somebody. Please, if it does make sense to you, let me know in the comment section, okay? I would really appreciate. So that was what I did for the entire head of hair. A lot of people will just make it like the way you would normally make your regular boho braids. The braids would be from top to bottom the same length. But for this one, for this French coils, what I did was I kind of made it step by step so that it will have volume. I was not really going to, I was not making it step by step, like intentionally, like keeping tracks, like this row will be the next step or that. No, I was just like I was just swinging it just to make sure that it gave volume of what I had in my mind. Yes, that was what I was going for. So after I was done, all I did was just trim it. If you can see the back of this braid, you will know that everything I braided is not the same length. The coils are going to be the same length at the end of the day. That is what is going to give him the volume that you're seeing right now. Yes, that is what I'm trying to explain. So I don't know how I explained it. If I had confused you, I hope this like clarifies that. So that was what I did for the entire braid, and when I was done, I just trimmed it. It is easy to trim. You just trim it the way you would normally trim your boho braids. This is my first time using this extension, by the way, and I thought I had made as many knots as I could to stop it from unraveling, because I knew that the extension was very silky, was as it had a lot of slip. So I thought I had made as many knots. If you watch the video, you see me make a lot of knots for one braid. Like, I tied a lot of knots. I went in with my Lotta Body lotion mousse just to activate the coils more. But what I'm trying to explain is this: I know that this voiceover is quite chaotic, but please just accept me like that, okay? So I thought I had like tied as many knots as I could tie, but after I was done with the hair, the knots, they just started coming off. Like, they came off on their own. And I thought to myself that if I leave this hair like this, like if you give this hair like 24 hours, all the braids are just going to come off. So I made the knots again. As you can see, I packed it and then I went in with super glue. Yes, that is my secret sauce. That was what helped me. After making the knot, I was not super gluing her hair, mind you. After making the knot, you see the part that the knot is made. That knot, that is why I just put a little super glue, very tiny, just to like stop the hair from moving. Yes, that is the best word. So that was what I did for the entire braids. I had to like pack them two and then be going in one after the other. That what you're seeing me do now is what I did for the entire head of hair. Yes, and it just made everything stay in place. It was no longer moving. And if you do it properly, if you do it very well, the braids are not going to go anywhere, and your client's hair is going to be very beautiful. That's just the truth. I didn't super glue her hair. I'm saying it again. I did not super glue her hair. I did not use the glue on her hair, which is on her natural hair. If you make a knot, you see the part that the knot is going to come out from. That is why I just dropped the super glue in, and I held the braids for a bit so that it does not rub off on the next braid and put them all together. So that was what I did for the entire hair. I went in with my oil sheen and we were done. The hair was so beautiful, so beautiful. 10 out of 10. Try it out and let me know how it goes for you, okay? So see you on the next one. Bye bye.